Change gears here. I'll give you another tuning. This is the hardest part of the whole thing, tuning up. I think she's right. By George and Frankie. Hot dog. Well, sometimes that can take 4 days, 4 hours, 4 minutes, or 4 years. All right, I don't know. Did you ever hear of Woody Guthrie? So every kind of song, name it, and he wrote it. But he was a beautiful cat. He had that same kind of genius that Bob Dylan's got. He takes a few simple words and sticks them together and they come out fantastic. Well, anyway, this one is called Ain't Got No Home in This World Anymore. I ain't got no home, I'm just a rambling man, hard-working rambling man, a go from town to town. The police make it hard wherever I may roam. I ain't got no home in this world anymore. Now I was farming on the shares, and always I was poor. My crops I put into the banker's door. My wife laid down and died upon the cabin floor. I ain't got no home in this world anymore. Now as you ramble round, it's mighty strange to see this wide and wicked world. Funny place to be. The gambling man is rich and the working man is poor. And I ain't got no home in this world anymore. Oh, I ain't got no home, I'm just a rambling man, hard-working rambling man, I go from town to town. The police make it hard wherever I may go. And I ain't got no home in this world anymore. Well, you know, I tell you, everybody, no matter where I go in this Europe, wherever I go, it seems like everybody knows Woody Guthrie, or a lot of people do. It can be in little towns in the mountains, or the countries, or the cities. But something that a lot of folks don't know is who was Woody Guthrie's favorites? Who did Woody like the best of all? Who was his favorite musicians? Who turned him on? Who gave him that thrill up his back? And it was the old Carter family. Arlo Guthrie today. Arlo's fine too, he's good. Arlo's better in real life than he is on records, I'll tell you that. He's really good, that cat. But anyway, I got wondering about that, and I checked it out. And I found out that Woody's favorites was the Carter family. And I don't know if any of you know the Carter family or not. Well, they're dead. There's one of them alive, and she's called Mother of Maybelle now, Johnny Cash's mother-in-law. Which is kind of too bad, because I think old Mother Maybelle is better than Johnny, really. Anyway, I'll give you one of the Carter family songs, and it's called My Dixie Darling. My Dixie darling, listen to the song I sing. Beneath the silver moon, banjo writing tune. I love no one but you. Hearts ever through, my Dixie darling, Dixie queen. I'm going down south to have a big time. See my girl in old Carolina. I'll drink my booze and do as I please, for all them girls along to squeeze. Singing a song of Dixie darling, there's where I long to be going, down where the jelly roll growing with my Dixie queen. My Dixie darling, listen to the song I sing. Beneath the silver moon, banjo writing tune. I love no one but you. Hearts ever true, my Dixie darling, Dixie queen. Dixie darling, listen to the song I sing. Beneath the silver moon, banjo writing tune. I love no one but you. Hearts ever true, my Dixie darling, Dixie queen. Way down south in Mason-Dixie line, down where the honeysuckles are entwined, down where the southern winds are blowing, there's where the daisies growing. The girls of the north, the gay finery, whirling around so shyly, singing a song of Dixie darling, where I long to be. My Dixie darling, listen to the song I sing. Beneath the silver moon, banjo writing tune. I love no one but you. Hearts ever true, my Dixie darling, Dixie queen. Everybody's glasses and bottles and things are beginning to look empty. Orange juice. Orange juice. Yeah. You know that old banjo pickers aren't supposed to drink orange juice at all. They're supposed to drink moonshine. Well, I'll tell you why I'll tell you why I drink orange juice. I don't know. If you ever heard very much about that place called United States of America, or not? But over there we got what you call a president. A president. And before we had this president, we had another president. Yeah. I don't remember his name exactly. It was something like Knoxon, President Knoxon, something like that. We called him Old Knox. Well, listen to this. This damn old President Knox, Old Knoxon, he did something really dirty with the water, and I've been drinking orange juice ever since. All right, well, let's see, for the last song of this first part here, let me think. I'll make it a pretty good one to go get a new bottle of beer with. It's a kid's song I made up myself 97 years ago today. And when I first made it up, it had 437 and a half verses. But I forgot them. And I only remember one verse, the first one. So I'll give you that first verse, plus the melody. And here's how she goes, and it's called Kid's Song. It's for children, really, see. Now two little boys and a big fat frog sitting in the river upon a log. The log turned over and they all fell in. Blub, 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 blub. Down to the bottom and up again. Now that was the one verse, but I'll do it twice. Now two little boys and a big fat frog sitting in the river upon a log. The log turned over and they all fell in. Down to the bottom and up again. Anyway, I'll do one more set for you this evening, and then Peter will play something for you. I'll sit down and enjoy some music myself. I'll try one here that I'm kind of scared to try. I've done it about 1,000,000 times. But the last few times I did it, I don't know why it come out terrible. Didn't work at all. So I'll knock on wood and try it. And it's called Rich and Ramblin Boy. The song's almost as old as I am. It's hundreds of years old. And here's how she goes. Many a cities I did enjoy, but now I marry me a pretty little wife, and I love her as you love, and I love her wife. That dog doesn't bite. Now she was pretty, was neat and gay. 'Cause meet her on the broad highway. Around the yes, I do declare. And I make myself 10,000 there. I'm a rich, good Ramblin Boy. Many a cities I did enjoy. And now I'm marrying me a pretty little wife. And I love her, girl, and I love her wife. Mother said she's all alone. Sister said she has no home. My wife she left inside despair, with an aching heart and a baby there. Now I'm a rich but a rambling boy. Many a cities I did enjoy. Now I'm married a pretty little wife, and I love her, girl, and I love her wife. Die, don't you bury me at home. Place me away in Oklahoma. My 44 for 593. Yeah, live with one. I'm just thirsty. Now I'm a rich but a rambling boy. Many a cities where I did enjoy. And now I'm married me a pretty little wife. And I love her, girl, and I love my wife. Dank u wel. Well, let's see. I'll sing you a song here about it's called a frozen logger, and I don't know how to say logger in Dutch, but a logger is the guy that goes out in the forest and he takes an axe and he chops down trees and a big saw and saws them up. And, well, up in Oregon State and Washington State, where I'm from, they got a lot of mountains and they got a lot of loggers. And loggers love to drink moonshine and knock the living hell out of each other. They're big sport. They like it better than baseball, football. Go out Saturday night and have a fight. And honest to God, this is really no kidding. I lived up in that country. And those guys, man, you wouldn't believe it. It's like seeing a movie come true. Those sons of bitches would get drunk and they would wreck a joint. And sometimes they'd come right off of work, you know, and they'd have those damn caulk boots on, those boots with nails in the bottom. And they would kick the shit out of each other and smack bottles and break windows. Ah, wow. Terrible. I always stood behind the table, with my grandmother, too. Well, anyway, this is a song about a woman, and she had a logger for a lover. And this logger, he was typical. He had muscles bulging out, muscles between his ears, muscles, he was filled with muscles. But now, in this song, I'll tell you some of the things what it talks about. For example, if you took a bottle of whiskey and you poured it on a bale of hay, what horses eat, hay, cows eat it, pigs eat it, everybody eats hay. Hay. Well, anyhow, if you took a bottle of whiskey and you poured it on a bale of hay, do you know that a logger would eat the hay? I've seen it with my own eyes many times. Loggers never shave. They take a great big sledgehammer and they hammer them in and they bite them off on the inside. They stir their coffee with their thumb. Well, anyway, this logger, he goes over to see his girlfriend one night, and he gives her a couple big squeezes and a couple big kisses. And when he squeezes her, he's so strong that it breaks 3 vertebrae in her back. And when he kissed her goodnight, it broke her jaw. But she didn't mind about that so much because she was used to it. But what upset her is she couldn't open her mouth to tell her logger lover he had forgot his coat, and it was freezing cold outside. And he went running off there through the snowflakes and the snow and the ice, and at 100 degrees below zero he buttoned up his shirt. At 200 degrees below zero he buttoned up his pants and put his shoes on. And at 1,000 degrees below zero he froze to death. But he was so tough that they couldn't thaw him out. They stuck him in the oven, they laid him on the stove, everything, but he just stayed one big tough hunk of ice. But they didn't want to throw him away. They didn't want to bury him or throw him in the garbage or anything. So what they did is they made axe blades. They made axe blades out of him. And to this day, if you go up to the mountains of Oregon and you go back in the woods, and you go over there and you ask one of those loggers to show you his axe, you can see written right on the side, it says 100% pure frozen logger. And they're using those axe blades today. I sat down one evening, 'twas in a small cafe. 40-year-old waitress to me these words did say, I see that you're a logger, sir, and not a common bum, for no one but a logger stirs his coffee with his thumb. I once had a logger lover, there's none like him today. If you poured whiskey on it, he'd eat a bale of hay. He never shaved a whisker from off his horny hide. He hammered in the bristles and he bit them off inside. My logger came to see me, 'twas on a winter's day. He held me in a fond embrace, broke 3 vertebrae. He kissed me when we parted, so hard it broke my jaw. I couldn't speak to tell him he'd forgot his mackinaw. saw my lover go a-striding through the snow, a-going gaily homeward at 48 below. The weather tried to freeze him, it really did its best. At 100 degrees below zero, he buttoned up his vest. Now it froze clean down to China, and it froze stars above. At 1,000 degrees below zero, it froze my logger love. In vain they tried to thaw him, and would you believe it, sir? They made him into axe blades to cut the Douglas fir. What a story, my God. Well, let's see. Maybe I'll sing you a song here I made up myself some years ago. I don't know if it's a good time or not to sing it, but it comes to my mind, so I'll try it. And it's a song called Portland Town, and it's an anti-war song, a war protest song. But I made it up way before Vietnam. I made it up during the time of the Korean War. And the Korean, some of you folks is, I guess, not here at the Korean War time, but it was a war very much like Vietnam. Politics and economic situations and dirty politics, all that. But the thing is, in America at that time, they had this damn Joseph McCarthy and the witch hunts, the Un-American Activities Committee. And that was really, or Germany or something, it was getting like that, see, it was really getting bad. And they were saying on the radios and the newspapers and on television, they were saying that if anybody talks against the war in Korea, or talks against the government or against the president or anything, you should telephone the FBI or the police and report them right away, see, because they might be communist spies. Wow, Jesus, you know, it wasn't true at all, see. But everybody was afraid because they were taking people on those trials. So anyhow, and there was the people that wanted to say something against it but were afraid to. And then there was people that, the idiots I call them, that thought it was a good war. And then there was people like myself and many of us that we did open our mouths and we got put in front of the Un-American Activities Committee or beat up in the streets, things like that. And they went on and had their war. But I was living in Southern California on the beach. I was really living on the beach, like I didn't have a tent or anything, no blankets, no nothing. Just living on the beach. I was sleeping in the sand, eating sand, dreaming. I never saw so much sand. But while I was there, an old couple moved down to the beach beside me, and they was on a vacation. They had a tent and everything. And we got to be friends, and they told me that they had had one child, a boy, and he had been sent to Korea, and he'd been killed there. And those people believed, like I did, that it was politics and economics, and they felt like their son had been murdered. And the damn thing is they were too old to have any more children. They were like up in their 60s, so they were too old to have any more kids. And the way they told it to me was really heavy, really hit you, you know. And I really felt bad. And I thought about them, and then up in Hollywood one night, the banjo and me was visiting in our own way, and it just come out, this song called Portland Town. I projected myself into that old couple to try and imagine, well, how I would feel if I lost my kids like that. Anyway, here it is, Portland Town. in Portland town. I was born in Portland town. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. I was married in Portland town. I was married in Portland town. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Children I had 1, 2, 3. Children I had 1, 2, 3. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Frank, Jimmy, and Johnny made 3. Frank, Jimmy, and Johnny made 3. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Sent my children off to war. Sent my children off to war. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Killed my children 1, 2, 3. Killed my children 1, 2, 3. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Murdered my children 1, 2, 3. Murdered my children 1, 2, 3. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I won't have no kids no more. I won't have no kids no more. No, I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't. Terrible times, all that. I'll sing you another Woody Guthrie song here. Yeah. Old Woody. It comes from my own territory, my own neck of the woods, up in Oregon country, Washington state country. And it's very wild country up there, and to this day there's not so many people living up there because it's very rough country and very rough weather. It rains a lot. Raindrops is as big as footballs. Rains 9 months of the year cold, and then it rains 3 months of the year warm. And they call us, this is really true, they call web feet. They call us Oregonians, they call us web feet. You have to have the feet of a duck to get around. And up to a few years ago, they didn't have much electricity. So they built a great big dam. In French, it's called a barrage. And I don't know it here, but in a dam anyway. To hold back the water, to put in canals and things like that, to bring in irrigation so we could have things are growing over there in the eastern part of Oregon, in Washington. And while they were building this big dam, old Woody shows up. And they sees him and they say, well, hello there, Woody. Why don't you sit down, make yourself comfortable? So old Woody says, well, okay, yep, he would. And he sits down, and the guy says to him, says, Woody, says, why in the world don't you write a song about this damn dam we're building? And so Woody thought for a minute, says, well, okie doke, all right, yep, all right, he would, he says, okay. So he pulls out a little piece of pencil and a few scraps of paper and out of his pocket, and he wrote 17 songs about it. But the one that I like the best is called the Grand Coulee Dam. And here it is, here's how she goes. Interesting too, this melody is a Carter family melody called the Wabash Cannonball. And I mentioned before Woody liked the Carter family. And Woody used our melody for this song. travelers always tell. There's some gardens and some towers. Well, I guess you know them well. But now the greatest wonder lies in Uncle Sam's fair land. She's the big Columbia River and that big Grand Coulee Dam. She heads up the Canadian Rockies where the rippling waters glide. Comes a-tumbling down the canyon till she meets the salty tide. From that big Pacific Ocean where the sun sinks in the west. She's that big Grand Coulee country. It's some land I love the best. Crystal glitter of that wild and windward spray, they fought the pounding waters and they died in a watery grave. When the boats were smashed to splinters and she gave men dreams to dream, the day the Coulee Dam was crossed by that wild and wasted stream. Uncle Sam took up the challenge in the year of 33 for the farmer and the factory and all you and me. He said, roll along Columbia, you can roll down to the sea, but river while you ramble, you can do some work for me. Washington and Oregon, you can hear the factories hum, making chrome, making manganese and white aluminum. There starts another wheat field in the fight for Uncle Sam in that big King Columbia River by the big Grand Coulee Dam. Donkey Bell, thank you. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll show you some other tunings. Oh, Jesus, holy God. I can't get that on this banjo. I keep breaking my second string on that. I've got to work out another tuning and I haven't done it yet. I promise you next time I see it I'll do it for you. But I'll show you some of the other little mountain tunings and things. Okay, I'll do that later. All right. Now this is called a mountain minor tuning, but it's a modal tuning. And this is really an old-timey, you don't hear this is far from commercial. But I'll do you a song called Cluck Old Hen. And this is a song about a farmer in Nebraska that had a hen, that had a bunch of hens, but they didn't lay eggs. But he didn't care. They never clucked or laid eggs or anything. But he didn't care at all. It was all right because he didn't like to work too hard anyhow. But one morning about 10 o'clock or something, he was laying there in bed, and he looks out the window, and he sees that they're building a railroad. And the old farmer, he says to himself, he says, "Cracky," he says, "they're a-building a railroad out there." Well, he gets to thinking to himself, and he gets to thinking, if he can get those damn hens, those kips, oh yeah, if he can get those kips, hens, to lay eggs, or get clucking rather, and laying eggs, he could sell them to the railroad men, sell the eggs to the railroad men, and make a lot of money, and come to Holland for his vacation. So he goes marching over there to those old hens, and he looks them right in the eyes, and he shakes his finger at them and he says, "Listen here, you old hens, you," he says, "you better start clucking or I'm a-gonna eat ya." Well, those old hens, they heard that, and they started clucking, and they clucked morning to night, all day long, cluck, 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 cluck. They just never stopped clucking. But the thing is, the old farmer told him to cluck, but he forgot to tell him to lay eggs too. So you can imagine what happened to those old hens. They got eggs. And here's how she goes, Cluck Old Hen. Cluck's gonna tell you, go hen, or I'm going to sell you. Last time you cackled in a lot. Next time you cackled in a pot. My old hen, she's a good old hen. She lays eggs for the railroad men. Sometimes one, sometimes 10. That's enough for the railroad men. Cluck old hen, cluck and sing, you ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cluck old hen, cluck and squall, you ain't laid an egg since way last fall. My old hen, good old hen, lays eggs for the railroad men. Sometimes one, sometimes two, that's not enough for the railroad crew. Cluck's gonna tell you to go in, I'm going to sell you. Last time you cackled in a lot. Next time you cackled in a pot. My old hen, she's a good old hen. She lays eggs for the railroad men. Sometimes one, sometimes 10. That's enough for the railroad men. Cluck old hen, cluck and sing, ain't laid an egg since way last spring. Cluck old hen, cluck and squall, ain't laid an egg since way last fall. My old hen's a good old hen, lays eggs for the railroad men. Sometimes one, sometimes two, that's not enough for the railroad crew. called Laszlo Feher. And Laszlo Feher was a young man. He was many, many hundreds of years ago. And he was kind of a rascal, and he stole horses and things. At one time, he stole a beautiful horse, a stallion, a male horse, and he stole it from the wrong cat. He stole it from this rich old judge. This was the judgiest judge you ever saw, and he was so rich, man, it was just terrible. And his walls was papered in $1 million bills. Oh yeah, and he was really a dirty rat. He was really, really. This guy was worse than Nixon. So anyway, he really got pissed off about that Laszlo stealing his horse. So he goes out looking for him, and he finds him, and he catches him, and he puts him in prison, and he's going to hang him. Well, Laszlo's got a sister named Anna. And Anna, she hears about this, so he gets all upset, and she takes a bunch of gold and silver and horses and things over, and she offers it to the judge. She says, "Judge, I'll give you all this gold and silver and horses and things if you let my brother go free." And the judge says to her, he says, "Anna," he says, "I don't want your gold or your silver or your horses or anything." He says, "I want you, Bertie." He says, "I want you." And then he says, "Well, all right, Judge." She says, "Okay." He says, "You can have me if you promise to let my brother go." And he says, "Don't you worry. Yes, I'll let him go. You come right in here." So he's got a great big golden bed in there, and they go running in there, and they jump in this great big golden bed, and he has her. They're in there doing what my grandmother used to call they was in there doing it. But while they're making out, while he's making out here, all at once the girl Anna, she hears a thump and a thump bump like that. And she realizes that they just hung her brother while they was making this scene. And she was really, really mad. She was mad as hell. And she jumps up and she grabs a big knife, a big butcher knife. And the judge says to her, "Anna," he says, "you put that knife down." And Anna, she didn't put the knife down. She went chop, chop, whack, whack, chop, whack. And the judge says to her, "My God, Anna, you've wounded me." I don't know how else to tell you that. And the judge, he took a long time of dying, but he finally died of a broken heart. And here it is, Laszlo Feher. Laszlo Feher stole the stallion, stole it on the misty mountains, and they sought him, and they caught him, and in iron chains they bound him. News was brought to Anna Feher that her brother was in prison. "Bring me gold and 6 fine horses, and I'll buy my brother's freedom." "Judge, oh judge, please free my brother. I will give you gold and silver. I want neither gold nor silver. All I want is your sweet favor." "Sister, sister, Anna Feher, are you mad with grief and sorrow? He will rob you of the gallows. And the Feher did not tarry. Straightway to the judge went running in his golden bed at midnight. There she heard the gallows groaning. Sister, sister, Anna Feher, don't go looking for your brother, for in the greenwood forest there he hangs upon the gallows. Cursed be the judge so cruel, 13 years may he lie bleeding, 13 shells of drugs won't heal him, 13 doctors never can save him. Well, I'll give you a couple more and then I'll sit down and drink more juice. As every time I say that, my grandmother, she turns over in her grave. Let's see, I'll give you another English song here. Or maybe I'll give you The Valley. Right. Maybe I'll give you The Valley. And here it is, The Valley. Made it up some years ago in Brussels one winter. It's coming on winter. Getting cold as hell. And the police had just kicked me out of Belgium. But as I say, wintertime coming and hitting the road sometimes it's kind of hard. So I figured I'd just lay low in this cave underneath this old building there and go out at night and pass the hat around, make enough money for food and vitamins, which meant whiskey and beans. And while I was there, it was cold as hell in that cave. There was no stove or no mattress or anything there at first. So I figured I'd make up kids' songs, because sometimes when things are tough and you make up kids' songs, it kind of is a gas, you know, it kind of lifts you up a bit. So this started to be a kid's song, but I guess the winter was colder than I thought, because it got more serious and more serious and more serious, till it's, well, it's for all kids, from 6 to 106. start to falling. Summer's gone and passed away. Children's hopes are like green tree leaves. They soon fade and tumble down. They come to rest in that lonesome valley, where they never can again be found. That lonesome valley's name is sadness. Flowers there are colored blue. Autumn leaves are colored sorrow. There's not many left to fall. Children's hopes are like green tree leaves. They soon fade and tumble down. They come to rest in that lonesome valley, where they never can again be found. Children's hopes are like green tree leaves. They soon fade and tumble down. They come to rest in that lonesome valley, where they never can again be found. Wind played rain will be the music laid up on those falling leaves, played deep within that frost-white valley. Summer's gone and passed away. Children's hopes are like green tree leaves. They soon fade and tumble down. They come to rest in that lonesome valley, where they never can again be found. There you are. Well, I tell you what, my old throat is getting to feel a little bit like filet Americain. Maybe I'm coming down with a cold. I've been feeling kind of weak tonight. So I'll give you one more song before I go sit down and drink my orange juice and play with the dogs a little bit maybe. But I'll change tunes here. I tell you what, I'll finish up with the most important song I know, the best song I know, and it's a philosophical song, and it's called The Rock, and this song is so philosophical that you wouldn't believe it. It's philosophical. But not only is it philosophical, it's got a guarantee added to it. And the guarantee is guaranteed to help you if you're feeling down and out. You lost all your money, you got the blues, or your mother and father run away from home with guitars and banjos on their backs or something. It's happening nowadays. A lot of young folks are getting upset about this. So anyway, well, I'll tell you, I'll tell you the worst thing I could think of to tell you how this song can help you out. Let's say that it's Monday morning. Jesus, huh? And you got to get up and go to work. And you're sitting there on the edge of the bed, shivering and shaking in the cold, and you look down at the floor, and you can't find your socks. Well, now that's a time for philosophy. Or let's say that you're an airplane driver, and you get up Monday morning to go to work, and you can't find your airplane. That's a time for philosophy too. So the next time anything like that happens to you at all, I want you to promise me. I want you to promise, as you're sitting there on the edge of the bed, shivering and shaking in the cold, sitting on your hands because it's too cold to take them out yet, trying to find your socks with your foot, wondering why you was ever born, I want you to promise me to think of this song, because it for sure will help. The first part's philosophical, all right, but the second part, ladies, gentlemen, folks, it is sheer, naked dynamite. Isn't it, banjo? Yes. Okay. I always do this for a little while to kind of get feeling philosophical. Uh-oh, yep. Aha, I can feel it coming over me now. Sheer philosophy. I can feel it oozing up my backbone. I hope that's what's oozing up my backbone. All right. Here she comes. Prepare yourselves, folks. Get ready. Well, I wished I was a rock, a setting on a hill. Drink up your blood tonight. Drink up your blood tonight. Well, he'll drink up your blood like wine. 'Cause the railroad man will kill you with that. Drink up your blood tonight. Got the $9. Well, old Kim's got the $9 show. She come over the hill with the $40 bill. Baby, where have you been so long? Baby, where have you been so long? Well, oh baby, where have you been so long? Well, I've been in the pen with the rough and rowdy men. Baby, where have you been so long? I've got a home in Tennessee. Well, oh, I've got a home in Tennessee. Well, oh, I've got a home down in sunny Tennessee. Roll on, nobody, roll on, nobody, roll on. Well, oh, roll on, nobody,